Tonight, electricity on its way to remote South Australian communities, and COVID-19 vaccines required for local healthcare workers.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. Remote communities across the state's far north are set to receive reliable and cheaper electricity from next month. It's understood the spots have never been attached to the grid, leaving them exempt from state government electricity bill reductions soon to change.
Cheaper power at the flick of a switch. From November 15, 3,400 remote customers will benefit under the Remote Area Energy Scheme. The state government cutting their electricity bills by 5.6% annually.
We've reduced the cost of electricity in the last 12 months by another $127 for those people, bringing it to $334 reduction over the last 3 years.
The isolated locations resulting in the communities not being connected to the state grid, instead relying on diesel generator alternatives. The new savings meaning that they're finally being included in the reduced energy costs the rest of the state has received.
We've worked incredibly hard to get the cost of electricity down and the reliability up.
The minister says new smart meters have been installed in 13 townships and 15 Aboriginal communities, delivering real-time data to improve energy efficiency. Power stability is also set to improve, with new solar battery projects in the APY lands commissioned to begin in early 2022.
We're making sure that people in the north of the state who aren't connected to the grid are also getting reduced costs of electricity for their homes.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
South Australia's wine exports have copped a multi-million-dollar hit as a result of China's tariffs. But winemakers say while the tariffs have taken a toll on the industry, they're now exploring opportunities in other global wine markets.
A crushing $460 million blow to the state's wine industry.
Unfortunately, we were expecting this with the excessive duties in China.
The latest data from Wine Australia revealing South Australian wine exports are down almost a quarter, following China's tough 212% wine tariffs imposed in November last year. A year prior to September 2020, the state was sending $817 million worth of wine to China.
We need to make sure that we do everything we can to get access back into China if possible, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Taylor's Wine's winemaker Mitchell Taylor says his business hasn't sent any wine to China since September last year, with domestic markets seeing a boost. Now looking into opportunities in growing global wine markets with much lower export fees.
We've been deliberately repivoting into the other markets within the rest of Asia, but also reaching abroad to markets like New Zealand, Canada, USA and of course the UK.
The Primary Industries Minister says the state government supports international expansion.
The state government's doing all it can to assist the industry in this space by looking to develop other markets internationally, using our network of trade offices as a key part of this to expand.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Healthcare workers will now need to be vaccinated against COVID-19 by November 8. It's part of a new direction which came into effect at 4:50 yesterday afternoon. Anyone who works in GP practices, pharmacies, dental clinics, pathology, radiology and other specialist facilities will be required to have received at least one dose by that date and be booked in for a second. Workers in private or public hospitals are also required to have a COVID vaccination by November 1. Still to come tonight, a festive celebration in Broken Hill cancelled for another year. And the Red Cross urges Port Lincoln locals to donate blood. Welcome back. The COVID Christmas Grinch has struck again this year, with Broken Hill's Carols by Candlelight cancelled for a second year. But not even a pandemic can stop the Christmas spirit from shining, with council hoping the pageant will still be able to go ahead.
It'll be a silent night at Sturt Park on the second Sunday of December. Organisers say running Carols by Candlelight this year is still too much of a challenge.
The kids in town haven't had that that Christmas excitement, to bring on the season for what it is.
Eased restrictions from December 1 will mean no capacity limits for ticketed and seated outdoor events. Those rules said to be difficult to enforce in an open location, and with just over a month until the event is supposed to be held, organisers say it would be too late to complete preparations.
The decision by the government now for public events is basically sealed for this year anyway, the regulations which for a public event as carols we can't comply with.
The Christmas pageant and night markets also under a cloud. Council hoping they can go ahead on December 18, but strong community support is needed.
Our staff are very busy preparing and doing all it can to make sure it's a safe pageant, but it won't happen unless we get business and organisation support and for floats to be nominated.
Businesses wanting to show their Christmas spirit should email Council's events team. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Australian Red Cross Lifeblood Service is in Port Lincoln this week, pushing for generous locals to do their bit for those in need. The organisation launching a new colourful bandage campaign in an effort to attract new blood donors.
Rolling up their sleeve for an important cause. The Australian Red Cross Lifeblood Service in Port Lincoln gaining vital donations.
We potentially have saved hundreds of lives through this visit, so the community is absolutely fantastic the way they band together and are always so generous.
The Port Lincoln Bowls Club housing the pop-up clinic this week. Locals turning out in numbers.
Absolutely vital. The capacity to have blood available for everyone who has an accident or anything like that is just so important.
Lifeblood also launching its True Colours campaign. The organisation partnering with 6 artists from around Australia, designing a vibrant range of limited edition bandages.
They're fun, they're happy, they're really encouraging people hopefully to talk about blood donation. Hopefully more people will roll up their sleeves as a result of that. We'd always love to see more donors come through the doors.
Donors loving the colourful additions.
Yes, I think it's just wonderful. I didn't realise that they were designed and everything like that. It's fabulous.
While urging the community to roll up their sleeves.
Definitely recommend anyone who can donate, come down and definitely donate. It's not that hard and it doesn't take that long and it's a worthwhile cause.
The service will visit Port Lincoln again from January 17. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Communities across the Spencer Gulf are invited to put in their applications for the 7th round of federal government funding. Local councils and community groups can apply for up to $20,000 to support projects.
Giving projects in local communities across our region a much-needed boost. Expressions of interests now open for the 7th round of the Stronger Communities program.
It's a fantastic program for clubs and organisations, small sporting clubs to CWAs, for RSL, Scouts groups, right across the board.
The federal government allocating $150,000 for small-scale upgrades and new equipment for community groups. $900,000 provided to projects across the Spencer Gulf through the program so far.
From one end of the electorate to the other, there has been, well, we can assume probably after 5 rounds of it, somewhere near 100 of these grants go out to all kinds of organisations.
In a statement, Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce says the funding will help communities get ahead and prosper into the future. Applications for the grants must be sent to any of the Member for Grey's electorate offices by December 3.
These aren't dependent on the organisation putting their own money up, even though many do, to take it the extra mile. We don't draw that hard a line.
More information can be found on the Stronger Community Program's website. Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Port Pirie hosts a special event for mental health awareness and a dark Australian comedy coming to the stage in Port Augusta. Hello again. 7 Spencer Golf News has been given an exclusive update on the construction of Broken Hill's new police station. Our cameras invited in as top cops toured the site, saying it will help improve policing in the city.
Behind the white screening, this is what 51 Blen Street now looks like, and this is what it will become, a multi-million-dollar police station and command facility overseeing operations across the Far West.
It's just great to actually be down here on site with the builder and the architect and just to get a bit of an idea of the size and scale of the new police station.
The station, more than just a shiny exterior, bringing the entire local police force under one roof for the first time in decades.
It's just going to be great for that team cohesion and you know, around our crime strategies and so forth, all to be under the same building.
The district inspector and commander shown around the site today, the floor plan marked out right down to the front door, at its heart a large car park and courtyard. Our police having their say during construction, meaning it's tailor-made for Broken Hill.
And we got to obviously have our input into it and basically a fit for needs building for the Barrier Police District, obviously for a lot of years to come.
While COVID restrictions have caused some minor setbacks, construction is on track to finish mid-next year.
We're all really looking forward to it. It's going to be an excellent product when it's finished.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new Mangrove Walk has opened in Tumby Bay, further enhancing its reputation as a tourist destination. The day coinciding with a community-run event to raise awareness for the mental wellbeing benefits of experiencing nature.
Cutting the ribbon to Tumby Bay's latest attraction, the town's mayor opening the Mangrove Boardwalk with the member for Flinders.
It's so exciting to have infrastructure like this which is usable, is in an environment which is unique and gives people the opportunity to be able to experience an environment they normally wouldn't be able to.
A strong crowd on hand to witness the opening. Peter Trelaw saying the upgrades will add to the town's dimension.
It's an important part of Tumby's vision, I guess, to make Tumby Bay an attractive destination for visitors and locals alike. The state government was able to contribute significantly.
The $235,000 project funded by state and local governments, including contributions from the Landscapes Board and the Tumby Progress Association. Mayor Telfer saying the structure will be enjoyed for generations.
The unique part of the mangroves, especially here in Tumby Bay, is it gives the opportunity to be able to see the marine environment where the nursery is for a lot of our sea life and also the bird life, which is prolific.
The unveiling coinciding with the Beacon of Hope Wellbeing Group hosting a walk and activities for the kids.
It's really about building awareness, I guess, for mental wellness. It's about all the strategies that can be put in place. We've heard about the importance of exercise and socialisation here today.
Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Pirie organisations and community groups today rallied behind a special day event as part of Mental Health Month. Organisers aiming to raise awareness around mental health and provide support pathways for those who need it.
Celebrating mental health.
It's just amazing that everybody's been able to get down here and we've been able to have it today, and it's a beautiful day, which is great.
Community groups and organisations coming together at Port Pirie's Flinders View Park today, offering support services for people experiencing mental health issues.
So we're here today to promote our services and give people opportunities to come and find out where they can get some support around their mental health and around alcohol and other drug services as well.
We can certainly talk to them about accessing our services or even referrals onto other support services that they might like. You know, mental health is so important to talk about so that people living with mental illness can get the support that they need.
Organisers saying they have been overwhelmed by the community support.
We've had support with donations for food, drink, like obviously the live music, the taekwondo. A lot of it has been donated from the community, which is just amazing. It shows that how good our little community can be.
And the take-home message.
It's okay not to be okay. Reach out. Find someone to talk to. There are lots of great organisations out there. Lifeline are someone that you can call. There are so many people out there who want to help.
If you or someone you know needs help, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Augusta locals can flock to the theatre for a new play next month. Brand new dark Australian comedy Dry, taking inspiration from outback locations. Playwright Catherine Fitzgerald, known for her work with the Adelaide Theatre Companies, is directing the show, which sees two sisters, the last inhabitants of the once thriving community, defiantly refused to leave. The play will be in town on Saturday, November 13 at the Lee Memorial Theatre. Stay with us after the break. Our fishing experts will join us with their tips for the weekend. And we'll have all the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. After a rigorous judging process, West Augusta Football Club has cleaned up at the annual Club's SA Awards, the event acknowledging and promoting the outstanding work done within the South Australian licensed club industry.
It pays off to be a team player. West Augusta Football Club invited to Adelaide Oval for its SA Club Awards this year, only to take home not one but two different awards. Anthony Packard winning Manager of the Year and Bruce Kenny taking home Club Cook of the Year.
Oh, it was a surprise, and I'm really honoured that people nominated me in the first place and the club is supporting me.
The Oval's function room packed with the best clubs in SA, enjoying great meals and a thrilling ceremony.
To have Cook of the Year as well as the Manager of the Year. We're also finalists as well in the Volunteer of the Year and the medium-sized Club of the Year.
The Cook of the Year nomination seeing Bruce travel to Mount Barker to participate in a MasterChef-style cook-off in order to win the award.
And they threw mystery boxes at you. We had to have a schnitzel in 20 minutes with your own topping and a hamburger with all the extras in 20 minutes.
The club ecstatic with the amount of nominations and awards won on the night, saying it's a great reward following a difficult year.
Clubs form the backbone of many communities, and it's really important to recognise the work that those clubs put in.
It's a real community sort of club, and we're really proud of it.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
There's only one more day left for South Australians to cast their vote for vacancies on the Minister's Recreational Fishing Advisory Council. 15 candidates are vying for 4 positions. Elected council members will be vital in shaping the future of recreational fishing in the state and will represent the interests of fishers while asked to provide advice and feedback to the state government. Voting closes at 12 p.m. tomorrow. The weekend is nearly upon us, and if you're thinking of taking your boat out to drop in a line, here are our fishing experts from across the region with their tips.
Welcome another week around the Gulf Fishing Tips from Port Pirie. There was some nice King George whiting caught at Eastern Shoal and some blue swimmer crabs in the deeper channel parts. And we've been telling you this for a little while, so I think there's still a few other ones that you can go out and check with Woods Point as well as Eastern Shoal. Check a buoy, you should be able to find yourself a good feed of blue swimmer crabs there. Have a look at the last bit of squids while you're in those deeper passages. You should be able to find yourself some of those guys. And on the way home, just have a look, as we said last week, for yellowfin whiting. They should start to be poking their head up with this warmer weather. That's all we got this week. We'll see you next week.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fishing Tips Port Augusta, Jewel of the North. Well, the seals that are up here in the bridge behind me, apparently they've moved out because they're not there anymore. Heaps of big kingfish up here at the moment though. They're catching them up around the train bridge, out in front of the Shoreline Caravan Park, right up around to where the bridge is being constructed there, but just be aware of the exclusion zones as well. King George whiting, pretty well they're all gone as well. There's a few puffer fish hammering the baits, and also you're starting to get some trumpeters in as well, so that can mean one thing, summer's on its way. Crabs are starting to come along. Try a little bit deeper, try a little bit longer for the first pull, then they'll come on the bite. There are some big tommies getting caught up around the mangroves and that, and these high tides during the morning. If you want to get out there and try up around the mangroves, you get a good feed of tommies. On a nice calm night, try dabbing for garfish and some silver whiting getting caught on the shallows over in the Flinders Channel, and also try along the beaches on the high tides. That's all we have from the Jewel of the North.
G'day and welcome to Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. We'll start over at Coffin Bay this time, and there's been some good whiting reports through the Farm Beach and Sand Hills grounds. For those who drop a little bit of surface burley around, there have been some really nice garfish in that same area, with some really good fish pushing close to 40 centimetres. Back here in Port Lincoln, there have been some small pockets of good whiting in the proper and also up along the North Shore. And there's also been a few blue swimmer crabs caught already by some whiting fishers, which is a good sign. Well, that's all for Fishing Tips this week. We'll see you again with more tips next week.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. Well, it was a fine spring day across our region today, and I can tell you to start making your plans for the weekend now, folks, because it's looking sunny on Saturday and Sunday too. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta was 27, Cooper Pedy got to 29, and Coffin Bay was 19 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla was 24, it was a degree cooler in Port Lincoln. Broken Hill was 31, Port Pirie and Woodner were 27, it was 23 across Port Lincoln, Cleve, Clare and Kadina. Cooper Pedy was 29 degrees and our friends in Adelaide got to 21. Taking a look at the satellite image now, band of clouds are covering the northwest and southern parts, bringing with it a cold front, showers and strong winds, clearer skies elsewhere. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northwesterly to southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swells below 1 metre. And a warning to some parts of the Gulf that you will need your jacket tomorrow. Port Lincoln will have a shower or two with 21 degrees. Similar conditions in Cleve, set to reach 23 degrees there. Woodner partly cloudy and 25. Whyalla will be 23. Port Augusta to reach a high of 27. Kadina partly cloudy and 22. And mostly sunny in Port Pirie with 25 degrees there. Clare to reach 22 and Broken Hill will be sunny and 30 degrees. But you'll be able to spend the weekend outdoors with mainly fine conditions forecast, partly cloudy and 22 in Port Augusta and Port Pirie on Saturday, 18 degrees in Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Kadina to reach 20, sunny conditions in Port Augusta, Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill on Sunday, Woodner mostly sunny and 24, Port Pirie at 23 degrees, partly cloudy in Kadina with 21, and a quick look to next week and it'll be sunny across the region on Monday. So Ruby, I know it's not quite beach weather over the weekend, which I know you love, but I'm sure we'll get there soon. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Thursday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.